Good morning, Twitter and YouTube. So I'm going to share this out on Twitter when I get done. I'm not going to go into a lot of rants today. I'm just going to cut to the bottom of the few things. We had this neighbor for 10 years, uh, and he's been a pain in the butt for all this time. We've tried to be nice. We tried to play it by the book. Even the landlord has bailed him out of a couple things, uh, which she shouldn't have. But she acts like, he's like this big, she'd have you think he's this big cuddly teddy bear or something, you know. But there's been a lot of times, originally it was my fault. When we moved here, we were told by our people, some of our people, uh, that this guy basically was a drunk and he smoked, which, you know, he can do what he wants to inside his apartment, but, you know, this landlord is, and most landlords, they don't care, as long as they're getting money. That's the thing. Uh, you couldn't have asked for any better neighbors than me and my wife here. The main issue that we had too when we first moved up here was these dang people that would come down here and put their trailer or their little camper or whatever out here. And the only thing that happened was cops being out here and being called. And I put a video out on Facebook when I was last able to be on there and address that concern because me and my wife don't want to get mixed up in nobody's messes. I'm trying to get it cleaned up around here. There was a time when, when we first moved up here, my dad tried to have this guy mow our yard, this next door neighbor of ours, and first time I kind of thought we might have a little issue or some type of problem was when my dad went out there and told him that he would pay him if he mowed this yard for us. Because that was the first time that he was beating and banging and trying to start something. And because he'd come over here saying, "Where's my money at?" All this stuff. So after about the second or third time, I can't remember, but about after the first, second, third time, I finally I called my dad. He didn't answer, but I left him a voicemail, and he got back with me when he could. I told him it was important. I told him I need to know what he promised, and what he did was he. At the time he paid him $50 to start him out. And, then it was going to be like 25 every other, I don't remember now, but 25 every time he could, pay him when he got his check or whatever. Well, that didn't last too long. But, a few years after that, my dad, unfortunately passed away. He was good for a little while. But, then our neighbor got to where he got showing out, and he was kind of being, you know, hard to get along with, you know, just rude. Uh, you know, yeah, there was a lot of things that he told us, you know. We used to, like I said, we used to try to get along with him. We used to try to be good. And, you know, but he would do things one time, one time in particular, several years ago, before I had the last dealings, you know, with my people, my family. Things got a little rough, but before that, you know, he'd come over here and I don't know what his deal is. I mean, like I told this cop last night, I told him, I said, you know, he thinks this is a game. He thinks y'all are just playing with him. You know, they was, but anyway, like I was saying, uh, yeah, we called out here. We called one of them out here last night to tell him, you know, that we were going to press this on. We were going to get a order of protection from this guy if he even steps 1 foot over here, 1 foot or anything. We're not opening the door. We're not doing nothing. My wife's not going to be checking your mailbox. My wife's not going to be going over there for any reason. I don't care, Roger Alter, if you are dead on the fucking floor. What I will do is if I don't see you out and about, if I think you might have fucking died in that fucking apartment, I might call the emergency 911. But I'm not your buddy. My wife's not gonna be doing anything with you no more. And you've had your last straw. We didn't even hardly know you, and we gave you many chances. And you screwed them all up. It just ain't coming from me and my wife either. This is coming from your people that knowed you ever since you've been knee high to grasshopper. Like I told this police officer out here last night, this morning, I told him that if they looked you up, they would find a lot of crap that you've done probably in your past that we don't even know about. You know, and I want to warn people that this guy we got next door, he's anything but nice. You know, he tries to put on, you know, and sometimes cops can be a little too lenient. I think there's a lot of them too that kind of knows him and kind of been buddies with him, or they got something. Because a lot of times, as one comes out here, especially this day shift cop that usually comes out here, and I think he just kind of monkeys around with it. I'm not normally on my wife's family side, but I'm not trying to say, oh, Derek's forgotten all the things that's happened to him. And I'm not, but I don't want anything to do with her family, just like she don't want anything to do with mine. But we have had enough. My wife's people were trying to help us with a dryer and a washer. And like I said, normally I wouldn't be saying anything good. But in this instance, we had to have this because where we're at. And, you know, and we had told him, this is the most recent thing that happened yesterday. This neighbor, he came over here banging on the door, and I reckon, you know, I went into the bathroom because I was like, I don't want to fool with him, you know. My wife, she wouldn't open the door, and I reckon, he was saying some stuff and doing stuff out there, getting up in her face and things like that, and I don't know. I didn't hear much. I didn't hear any of it really. I figured she'd take care of it. She needed me. I know she got hollered for me. I wasn't that far away. I just was trying to keep from doing something that would have the cops up here for sure. But he was like, well, he's telling her like, oh, I'm gonna call them out here, and I'm gonna do this and that. Well, you know what? Well, now it's gonna backfire on you. Because Roger, I swear, you're gonna feel like you're on fucking house arrest. The only time you can come out is when you fucking mow your grass on your side, or if you want to get in your little truck, or if Scepter comes up here and picks you up for some kind of appointment. We've done nothing but be good to you. We've tried to get along with you, but you're the one that's the problem. It's not who lives in this apartment over here. It's you. You're the one that's the big issue. People tries to get along with you. I don't know if you've got some kind of chemical imbalance or if you just do this on purpose to get attention. You're like one of these attention fucks out here, or what your deal is. But, we tried. And nobody, I've tried many times, but Miss Prophet ain't going to be able to save you. Nobody is going to be able to save you. You can't even be trusted around. You can't even be trusted around other people. Other people have denied coming to visit you because of how you've been. Soon enough, you're gonna wish you hadn't messed with Derek and Jessica, because if Miss Prophet were to be called, if Miss Prophet were to come up here, I'll tell her in a nice way. I'll say, look, he needs to stay over there on his side, and we stay on ours. The only reason my wife had even done anything at all for you was because you had asked her to, and you were being good for a little while. Like I said, you got short spurts of it. Sometimes you're good. Sometimes I don't know if it's because you drink over there or if you smoke. Well, Derek, he says he's quit. He's done this or that. Okay. Well, I've never done it. It's not good. It's not fun. It's a waste of time and money, especially money. That's why a lot of people have a lot more problems, because they don't take care of their body. They want to get all drunk. They want to get on drugs. They want to abuse themselves with all these things, But the other thing I want to talk about, because I'm tired of talking about him, the other thing I want to talk about was, we did have some people coming out and talking to us last night. I wanted to thank them. But, we don't have a whole lot going on. We're trying to get moved. And, hoping we can find something decent out here where we can hopefully eventually get moved, find us a good bestie or something. Because I know the landlord out here, she won't let nobody up there. So I told my wife, I said, well, if we do happen to find something, not only will this order protect us, but it'll protect them, whoever she may be. Um, but you know, um, we will make sure that come hell, come high water, the creek don't rise, and this world doesn't come to an end. We're going to die trying to get out of this mess, get out of this place, and let whoever else wants to put up with this idiot over here. 'Cause once we leave, he can do what he wants. But you know, as long as we have to stay here and we don't have a choice, and we don't have a Sebasti, we'll have to stay here because we don't have nowhere else to go. You know, we've tried, looking into some stuff, but it ain't kind of come together right now. Uh, and a lot of the places that we know of are just trouble, just like this guy is over here. And even though he lives right next door, it's easier to put up with one than it is 25, 30 people, So, like I said, anyway, we like a lot of things, music, movies, TV. We like to go for walks. My wife and I have been looking for a female bestie for upwards to about 4 years now, on and off. We like to, like I said, we like somebody we could watch TV with, cuddle. Every now and then we make out once in a while. So anyway, we we wanted somebody that was slim to average to a curvy body type, somebody that, didn't have a lot, that could appreciate, our offer. I'll show us again in case somebody's watching. But this is the biggest thing we have. It's a 10-carat gold diamond ring. But we've got some other stuff over here that we put out on the video yesterday. So if you got a Twitter or, you watched us on here, then, you'll know about it. But I'm trying to, every day we're kind of going out there trying to look a little bit, not do too many names, just do one or two or three a day or something. See if we can up on somebody that would like this offer, to appreciate it. And we could have, have like it's having a whole new start and a whole new family. But, because we just can't put up with, what's here. The driveway's horrible. The inside, the apartments. Actually, I like, and to be honest with you, I like being up here. As far as the quietness, most of the time. And I like the fact that, for the most part, the weather's nice up here in Decatur. Never any tornadoes, never any hurricanes. I've been up here almost my whole entire life. I always, did good in school. I wasn't perfect, but I did pretty good in school. Had, I've had 3 jobs, as I said. I think last night in the video. Worked at Sonic from 2006 to 2009. I worked, after that, I worked as a bagger for 3 months at Ingalls. And then my most recent job was Hardee's in Decatur, Tennessee. I worked at one down here for almost 5 years. Would have still stayed had things not gotten out of hand with the management. But anyway, we like all kinds of stuff. We're not into fishing, hunting, politics, a lot of news, anything like that. We want somebody laid back, easy going. We're not all spiritual all the time. We don't, it's not that we don't believe in religious stuff. It's just sometimes it can get a little too much for our liking. Some people really take that stuff too far and are into it so much that it's about the only thing they talk about, and that kind of drives me and my wife crazy a little bit. We want somebody that can, if you do that sort of thing, we'll do it with you if that's what you do. But, I don't want to spend, me and my wife, either one wants to spend our whole day talking about somebody that's not here in a physical form. Not saying that he ain't worth the praise, but at the same time, I know that there's more to life. There's more to life than sitting in a room looking at a bunch of walls and sitting around a bunch of these strange people that you don't hardly do much with as it is anyway, except look at them when they're in a church building. So, I'm just, we just want somebody that's relaxed. Somebody now, like I said, if you had some kids or a pet or two or something, as long as they're calm and not rowdy, not jumpy, and screaming and hollering, carrying on, or something like that, we'd be fine. But as far as the kid thing goes, we'd prefer to be no kids. It would be much easier, what I'm saying, to give our bestie the attention that she would crave and deserve. It'd be a lot easier. Like I said yesterday on the video, we had, my wife said the old, who came around again. And like I said, I can't help it, but you can say what you want about me and my wife not working and not, we've got more stuff than that person ever will. She really done herself in, and like I say, I don't mind to talk about some of your personal stuff, your personal issues or your problems, if you're somebody that can listen. If you're good, okay. If you're a good listener, and if you're somebody that goes by the book, goes by the straight and narrow book, you won't have no problem with me. You won't have no problem with my wife either. The problem is a lot of you people, not saying all of you, but a good portion of you, I can figure out in about 5 minutes or less. I have what I call I go with my gut. My gut instincts always prevail. I don't care if I've never seen you. In most cases, almost every case, I have never laid my eyes on you. So if you want to make the best of impressions on me and my wife, then you best take heed of this video and know that you're the type of person that we are looking for. And that you are this 20 or 30 something year old person that don't have much. And if you, like I said, if you have a few friends or whatever, if you family members or whatever, or if you don't, you're like us and you don't, whatever the case is. But if you do, like I said, in time, I wouldn't mind to do it. But in a lot of cases, in most cases, I don't like for. Oh, there you go. Um, I don't like to meet people right away. It's hard enough as it is trying to get to know a person when they're in front of you to begin with. But what? Oh,
Good morning, my beauties.
okay. Here's my wife. She wants to do her talking.
I got it.
There you go.
Good morning, beauties. I just got out of the shower, so I just had a good day yesterday until a little trouble started.
Well,
But
I put all that. Go ahead.
Oh. I was happy to see my mom in a while. My mom said that this is the first time I've ever heard this come out of my mom's mouth. She said she's really proud of me for being an adult and handling certain things on my own. She said she knows that she can't be there all the time for me, but she said when she can, she would. And she said she said I really changed a lot. She could see for her own eyes. Like she said that she agrees with my husband that I really changed my ways. She said I'm doing better. She said I don't need my Hawassi medicine. She said I don't need counseling. She said she's really proud of me. And that's the first time my mom really said something positive about me for the first time. I was so happy that, my mom saw it for her own eyes. Like she said, Derek was right, that you really changed. And she said she was happy to see me. We talked about good things, not negative things. We talked about sports a little bit. Uh, talked about, how her week went, how her weekend went, and how Christmas went. She asked me what I did for Christmas. I told her I didn't do much. But, but I told her I didn't, do things with my husband, we, clean the house a little bit. And she could tell I cleaned my house. She said she's really proud of me on that. She said my house was really nice. She said that she could tell I really cleaned. And she said I don't need to be on the medicine or counseling. She said I'm doing really well. She said she's really proud of me. That just made my day because, that made me smile that my mother, can really change her way.
10 years too late.
Yeah, but my husband said, 10 years late,
10 years too late.
Oh, 10 years too late, But, like my mom said, just I got to keep my head up. Don't let nobody, start trouble with me or, she wants me to be happy. She said, whatever makes you happy, I want you to stick with it. She said, don't let nobody come between, anything that makes you happy. And, but they tried, but, my mom asked, for my forgiveness. She asked me to forgive her, and I told her, I said, well, we'll see how things go. We'll take it slow. But I told her that my husband's still mad at her, and she understood. She let me sit her down and talk to her easily. And I don't mind my husband on that. I'm not going to argue with him on it. Because he said, they're in the doghouse, And she finally said the L word for the first time to him. He said that kind of made me feel like, that's the mom that I wanted, all this time, I didn't like, having ups and downs with my mom. But, my husband said, you have ups and downs with everybody. But that doesn't mean to argue and fuss, over stupid stuff, we need to all try to get along, like my husband said, on both sides,
Uh,
But, I had to push them away because, they put a lot of stress on me, and my husband wants me not to be so stressed out, and I don't want him stressed out. He's on a lot of medicine, like he was explaining. He's on a lot of medicine, like I am. We're on a couple of medicines that, we need. That's from doctor's prescriptions. But, like my husband was saying before I got out of the shower, we're looking for that bestie, that will make us happy. I really want this because I haven't been crying. I cried my eyes out. I'm really emotional at certain things, but my husband will cuddle with me. Kiss me on my forehead or rub my hair. He said, "Baby, you gotta calm down for me." And he can sit me down and talk to me. It was hard at the beginning when we first dated. It was hard for me because I didn't understand what he was telling me at first. And I realized, when he talked to me, and it's hard for me to compromise at first with a lot of things, but I compromise because that's how Danny taught me. You got to compromise with certain things. Like my husband said, like fishing and hunting and mudding. We don't do that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
but I will compromise if you don't like certain things that I don't like certain foods you eat or certain foods you don't like. I can compromise. I can compromise on that. That's no biggie.
Well, the only thing it's not compromisable, or at least in my book, because I'm raised on it, is our music.
Oh yeah. Let me bring that up. If you don't like certain music like we do, we want somebody that likes our music like country and a little bit of metal, hip hop, what else, baby? The 90s and the 80s and the 70s and the 80s music, like for example, like Jimi Hendrix and Garth Brooks, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Carrie Underwood, Shania Twain. Um, who else am I leaving out? There's another female. Uh, but that's what kind of music we like. I like Usher a little bit, and I like 50 Cent a little bit. I like Elvis Presley. I like some of his music. I like some of Johnny Cash's music. Ring of Fire and something Prison. Uh, I like those two songs that he made, but the rest of his music sucks. Sorry to tell you, Johnny Cash's kids. Sorry, but um, I think today's gonna be a better day. I see how beautiful it is outside. I think it's gonna be a better day. I just gotta keep, like I tell my husband, you gotta keep searching for what you want. You gotta fight for it, and I'm gonna keep fighting to my last breath that I find this bestie. I'm gonna fight now to my last breath. I don't care if it takes till I turn 40, honey. Until I turn 40.
Oh, we're gonna find it before.
I hope we find it before then. You've been saying that for a while. But I gave up. I give up Susan Rogers. I give her up. I gave up Lexi. I gave up this new one we were talking to. Her name was Erica, but we had to give her up because she kept playing us. My husband said, she just playing us and sending us old videos and on our phones and Twitter. She said she's from Florida, but
No, she's from
oh,
Texas.
she's from Texas. My bad. She's from Texas. She was down here in Florida visiting, I think, for a job or something, and she was doing us wrong. So I had to let go of that because ain't words thinking of something if it's not gonna work. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be honest on you, you know. But my husband's right. We're not out here to hurt, females' feelings, because I know you guys are emotional a lot. And like my husband said, yeah, we don't need to talk about your past right away. You could wait for a few years to tell us or something when you're ready, because we're not going to press you to do that. We're not like that. We're a very sweet couple. We're married. We've been married for 10 years. And I want to talk about, maybe we could talk about good things, color, draw, watch TV together, cuddle. I do like Ellen Man channel. I like some of the romance ones. They're okay, but the murder ones I usually change them because I don't like to have nightmares. So my husband said, baby, you don't have to watch ones that have the murder in it. You don't have to watch them. But I like to color, draw, go on walks, play with my four bunnies. I got Buster, Daisy, Thumper, and Jerry. I got four bunnies that I raised since they were a little baby. I raised them all. And I got cows that I pet, that my next door neighbor lets me pet. They're really friendly. They're very sweet. Um, I named a couple of them. There's Sugar, Brownie, Blackie, and JBL is gone now, so he went to a better home. He was scared at first, but when I played his song and told him I loved him, that I was missing, he gave me a kiss on the cheek, and that just made my day. I told him he's gonna be okay, and I patted him. I said you're going to a good home. The people were real sweet to him. But, I think that, making this positive video will help. This bestie out here, I know you're out there gorgeous. I know that when you're ready, I know you'll come. I just can't keep pressuring myself. When you're ready on your own time, I'll know when it feels right. My gut will let me know. But beautiful, I want you to know that I love you and I miss you. And I hope you have a great day. Keep your head up, sweetheart. Mom and Dad loves you. Bye, sweetheart. Time was hopping, but okay. Okay. Sure.
Well, like I said, I don't know. It's got to be somewhere around the corner, close or some. I can't see it going too much longer. Um, well, just due to the fact that there is all this positive out here that you can get to. You can, maybe Decatur's not exactly the hot spot. It once was, at least for me, while at one time, 12, 13 years ago, we still didn't have all this crap, as well available to these people, or it wasn't as big a deal then. It may have just started, but it wasn't as big a deal. And I used to have internet on my phone and that sort of thing. But again, it's got to be, you know, I don't think it can be somebody bringing my wife up here in their car. They won't get up and come up this driveway. So I don't know what, if you can't spare 5, 10 minutes, I don't know what good you are, you, you, you know, what, I'm just, I can look up a couple of things, I told my wife, I said a couple of those names a day or something, do a few at a time. You might look up on them, might be, might be somebody in Athens, somebody in Chattanooga, Cleveland. It don't have to be Decatur, but it's not going to be. Oh, it's not gonna be. It ain't gonna be no freaking celebrity. It ain't gonna be no damn, somebody out of state. I've had enough of that. But I mean, her people wouldn't like hearing what we're talking about. But they made these choices for us. My wife wanted to talk good about them the whole time. Tried to tell me I just need to give them time. Well, it's been 10 years now. And I chose, and I have for the last four years or so. Well, now, wait a minute. 6 years. Going on 7. Well, 7 years. The last 7 years, I have chose to not go to gatherings. Her people, they're all married. They're all got kids, and all this other stuff. But, I don't know how they did 25, 30 years ago. I wasn't here to see that. They certainly didn't have all these goddamn kids up their ass. I can tell you that much. Like I said, had it been some of these people that were just her aunts and maybe her mom, maybe a couple of here and there, and it wasn't all these dang kids in the way, Derek might have got in there. Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sneezer cat.
Got allergies.
But no, I mean they basically made my wife out to be a liar, and I don't like seeing it that way. But they did every dirty trick in the book to prove her wrong. And I've said it on both ends. I mean, at one time, over there. No noise distracts me. But anyway, the thing is, when you was a kid, and it was just me and my brother and stuff like that, and before, the little brat came in the whole picture and got in our way. My mom put that crap on my dad. Well, my dad agreed to it, but now he knew, and he admitted, it took him years later, but he, come out with it. Because, it just wasn't going to fit. You can try to force it all you want to. Well, I'm just trying to give you time with so-and-so. Well, it didn't work, Two boys and one girl don't really mix too well. I never used to be, wanting anything to do with anybody like that much. But, her family drove us to this point. Mine did too, but hers, it come a lot. Can you get that cheese mixing that macaroni better?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't never get it to darken the color of the macaroni.
I can put more cheese in it. You want to make that?
Yeah. Put that American cheese on it.
Okay.
It depends on what side of the fence you fall on. I guess, and everybody, I told my wife that one of the things is everybody's moods have changed. Most of her family, if you took out the husbands, most of her family is all female. Like I said, if you'd had maybe just her grandparents and the rest of the females around, I probably could have stood a better chance, and I almost definitely could have. I could have pulled some of them old tricks out and got in there, did some singing. We could have done all this other stuff. Could have spent more time together, but they're the ones that want to get barefoot and pregnant. You know, they want all these damn kids. I told my wife, I said, one of these days when they get around 50 or so,
Me and my brother Isaiah do very well together.
when all these people out there having all these kids, they wonder why all their youth is used up. You know, instead of going out there and enjoying what you could as a child in your 20s and 30s, you're spending it on your dang kids. You're wasting, you know? And I could see that sitting a mile away in there. I was sitting there, and my wife was bored as hell. It was the craziest thing. I don't know why. Almost every woman, not every woman, but most women want to sit there and get pregnant by somebody else that they hardly know. And I've experienced a couple times where, you know, like my dad and my mother, you couldn't ask for a better dad. My mother, it's a different story. But, you know, but I'm just saying, you know, y'all don't realize what y'all are giving up. Opportunities to go out there and what Derek, you saying nobody no, I'm saying if the situation is right and if you and that partner are just so happy together, like, you know, nobody's perfect, but you can sit there and do the things that we're talking about, which is compromise, and you know, you're never going to break up, because that's one thing. If you have kids, they don't understand that whole, you know, why are y'all together just long enough to have sex for a few minutes and do nothing else? Y'all whine about the bills. You whine about, well, that's the problem. See, that's what I told my wife. I said, imagine how much more I'd have got accomplished if she'd have brought me in 25 years earlier, 20 years earlier. You wouldn't have had all this fucking shit.
No.
And I know she ain't talking about that these kids have been around for the last 30 years. I know that they have come within the last 15 or so years. So that's the difference in me getting along with people. I don't like large crowds. Now, are we saying 20 or 30 of them's a large crowd? Well, when I don't know you, and when you don't come up to me and you don't give me any of your time, that to me, that's a lot. You know, you won't sit there and hold hands with that fucking ugly man of yours. You like to go hunting and fishing and all that. I don't like it. I'm sorry, I'm from the country, but I don't like that stuff. I asked Mom. Oh yeah, it looks better. But yeah, well, you're supposed to like it. No, you're not. You don't have to. I don't. I was raised around my dad. Liked hunting. He liked a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he did.
But you know, I compromised with my dad. He liked everything from all the supernatural bullshit to all the other junk. You know, and.
You had a great.
Where we didn't see eye to eye on some of that stuff, and I didn't like it. You know, he could do the one thing that her people couldn't, and that's compromise. And she's out here telling me, well, Derek, 10 years later, they're ready. What does it matter to me? I'm not talking about my wife. I'm talking about myself. What does that matter to me? Nothing. Y'all had your chance. You screwed it up. Y'all rather go out there and these damn people, I'll tell you one thing I do know. These damn people ain't fooled by unions one bit. They know they could call up there and say they had the crud, that they couldn't walk, or they could make any excuse. and y'all come going over there to Florida and all these other places. But when me and my wife wants to have her a nice birthday party, the best y'all could do was fucking Hardee's. That is ridiculous. You know, what I'm getting this out. I know it bothers my wife. She's like, well, she's trying to be Cool Hand Luke, and I understand that, but I'm not going to stand by and let these people, all of a sudden, after 10 years of that stuff, think they're going to get somewhere on my dime. I don't care if it's 200 degrees in the goddamn bathroom. I will sit in there and I will fucking sweat to death. Because I'd rather do that than have to suffer looking at these people who are now 10 years older. They ain't wiser. They're just much stupider. You know? Because the context of me being in my wife's life messed them up. Nothing messed them up. They don't understand handicapped people. She is a rare one of these people that don't have to have a wheelchair. She don't need y'all around 24/7. And that's the thing. You know, this is on my chest, so if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But, you know, I'm talking to these people on here. So, if it's too much for you, and then, okay. But, I got to get this out here. But this is why yesterday I got in there and I just did some exercises. My wife's come in there and said, well, you look like you're hot and you're sweaty or something. You burn it. I said, well, I'd rather be doing this than coming out here listening to this garbage. Basically, in so many words. I just can't handle it. I can't take people playing one side and then 10 years later wanting to play the side they should have played to start with. If you want me to like you, you got to make your first impression count. You can screw up once in a while and have a little bit of misunderstanding and sit down there and compromise. But the minute I knew that I couldn't do that, I knew this thing was out the door. Anything she wanted to do, if it's Chuck E. Cheese, if it's to go relive some of her times with going shopping somewhere, going to a zoo, small stuff. We ain't talking about the big stuff. Small stuff these people could have done, could have took the time out, could have took some time off of their work, could have come and picked her up for those damn kids' ball games and stuff, all kinds of stuff. But they spent all this time griping and arguing and fussing on the phone, texting, calling, lying on Facebook and telling us we didn't know what we was talking about. We certainly do, because you wouldn't have changed in 10 years. Well, it's too late. I told my wife I'm not going to live another day being seen around them people ever again. I know she tries to, when she has to have them around, which for stuff like yesterday, we had to have a dryer, we had to have a washer. So that was, a welcome change and something she needed that we needed. And they can say all the good stuff they want to now. Oh, they can say all the good stuff. Oh, yes, I see it now. Well, it's too late. We're going to try to find the bestie. Y'all going to be, as soon as that happens, if and when it happens, and I'm sure it'll happen here soon. I kind of have a feeling. As long as it's took quite a while, like my wife said. Derek, you say it all the time. Well, it's got to be getting there. Somebody out there is looking for this offer. Now, why is it not happening? Well, it may be that they just ain't been on it. It took me a while by myself. When they get on there and when they have the heart and the feelings and the things that most of you people out here in this world don't have, you have it for some famous celebrity. You've got this whole thing with Britney Spears. Oh, free Britney. And you think they care one iota about anybody, much less any other person. famous out there. They could care less. They are what you call attention whores. Well, Derek, they at one time, I know you'd make an excuse. Well, they don't know how to deal with cameras and celebrity attention. They go back their own way. They never hardly ever, any of them hardly ever gives to any local charities. They only do it to get some kind of, attention whenever they know that, hey, well, now they'll see after 10 years I finally give to some, you know, I've said it before and I say it again. If I ever got my way and I got to be a celebrity, not just because I'm handicapped, but just on basis of, I hope if I had the same, body, but was able to do all these things that I certainly can't do now, but still can to a degree, but not as much as I used to. But I would hope that I would come out looking at this the same way. I don't like to have big houses and all these cars, and I don't wish to keep buying lands and all other stuff, just trying to find a way to blow money. The way you get rid of your money is donate it to somebody that needs it. There's kids out there. There's all kinds of good causes out there to be, doing some good work for and contributing to the stuff that the world that there's all kinds of stuff that take me all day. There's kids and there's stuff you could be giving this money to. Some of your clothes you don't need, and all this other stuff that you just throw away, you could be getting it to somebody that needs it. It's like I told my wife, if these celebrities wasn't getting paid by whoever pays them, they wouldn't show up at that Make-A-Wish hospital, and they don't care one iota. They put on a front for those people and the family, and that and they put on a good show. It's sad, but it's the truth. But yeah, I would take and donate it to local charities or some charities that, I always wanted to be a singer. I always wanted to do something in music, but I can't get not one person to budge. I bet if, as good as her people claim to be 10 years from the time that we met, if they'd have been as good, if they was as good and wasn't so stingy and wasn't so stuck up, these fucking kids' ass and everything else, everybody was calm, and if you put a movie on, or even if, let's for argument's sake, say they had a way of having some music on and they really wanted to see what Derek was like. One thing I'm not giving up is my music. I don't care if they liked it then, they gonna like it now. Because they can't force it. Well, I might not can force it, but anybody around me is gonna like my music. If they don't, that is one thing I don't put up with. My dad might not like country as much, but he tolerated it for Granny. He was the one that got me into classic rock and some of the other stuff, disco, So I got a little bit from everybody that I've ever raised up around. That's why my music taste is what it is. It ain't this crap on the radio that you hear lip syncing today. These people can't sing at the parades. These people are just moving their mouth and having a microphone up there, just moving their mouth. You can tell, I can tell. Very easily. Poor old Milli Vanilli got, they had such a big uproar over that, that it was ridiculous. Because it's known more now that people are out there doing it. What now? Oh, we're going to feed Buster? Yeah. But it's no more now than it ever was. You know, and there's people out there, and you people out here on this YouTube and around and on Twitter, you'll go out there and go to some concert. And these people,
Jerry's crying.
and these people, especially these that like to dance and like to make it a show. Now, country, you know, people in country, they'll sing. I don't have a problem. And Kiss. Kiss is in a classic rock group. You know, Kiss. So a large portion of who I listen to, they sing. You can name a lot of singers that I listened to growing up. They actually sung their songs. But, you know, a lot of these today, they modify everything in a studio, and they're not singing. Their real voice is crappy. But yet, you know, you can get somebody to say, "Oh, I like Justin Bieber and all this junk," and he can't sing worth of shit. But yet, you get some supposed usher, this fucking local yokel, claims been raised up in fucking Chattanooga. You can get him. Oh, this one video that little BB makes. Oh my God, makes him an overnight celebrity. Then what's he do? A couple months from now, he's on the news saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go out here and make a big ass out of myself. I'm gonna go out here and cause trouble. I'm gonna run from the law. I'm gonna go partying." That's what's wrong with you. You don't give people like me and some other people out here. You know, you won't give handicapped people a chance. You won't give anybody that's less fortunate. In the celebrity realm, the eyes are harsh, most time not deservedly so either. You know, some cases, yes, but most cases not. I've seen people on American Idol and The Voice and other shows when I have watched that have gotten booted off for something much worse, that they ended up advancing over the ones I thought that were better, that actually could sing. So, you know, not every time do these celebrities get it right. And I know they're jealous, they're biased. They don't want to be upstaged. You know, and I'm not going to name names, but they've been some pretty bad examples out there, you know, from about 20 years ago. No. Anyway, just wanted to kind of come out here and say a few things, get some stuff off my chest. I'm going to put this out there on Twitter. It's got a little bit of everything in it. So hopefully y'all will enjoy it. As I said, if our search ended today, you know, and somebody saw some of these videos or reached out to us, you know, in a private message. Oh.
Here's another one. I'm still working on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll show them some more.
Yeah. We like I said, we wanted to come out here and just kind of get some stuff off our chests. You know, it wasn't anything against any one person, but you know, it just aggravates me that, you know, you can't get anybody to just do something right, and that you can't, you know, see people just get away from the news and the politics and the whole nine yards. You know, they're more worried about some damn ghost, some God that's not here, no longer in the flesh. I don't care if you praise him or not, but my goodness, if you spend 90-some% of your day worried about that and what he thought and what he supposedly thinks, and it's only spiritual, it ain't like he's here. Because I have a feeling if he was here, you turn your heat on. Well, I have a feeling if he was here, half of you that say you really want him here would be thinking otherwise. I'm not going to go into why a lot of it, but I in a short way, I'm gonna say you wouldn't want this person around you 24/7. I mean, look, it's supposed to be a man. I'd rather have a nice woman around me than have some old creep looking in me taking a shower or some goddamn person sleeping in the bed with me. And I could imagine sleeping in the same bed with this fucking clown. You wouldn't get to work. He probably the only work you'd probably be doing, and going back to medieval days of the Bible, in back in the time when he's supposedly around for only about 30 some years, that's all anybody could put up with him for. I'm surprised he made it that far. But like I said, and that's why it's so confusing. You see these people all the time, and most of them, not all, but most of them are just so. It's like it's the only thing they bring up. It's that, or it's basically almost hardly nothing else. They'll, they give a little description down there. Like I said, I don't mind to dive into stuff like this a little bit, but just for my personal taste, these people really take this stuff too serious, too far, and they spend more time worried about what some freaking person that's not even here is going to think about them spiritually when their real body is going to be gone one of these days. It ain't going to make two differences. It ain't gonna make any difference what happens to you spiritually. It's all a bunch of spiritual mess. It's just fun. Wow, Derek, I mean, I'm in my physical form now. So whatever I get out, whatever my wife gets out, whatever any person out here gets out, that's what I'm saying. If there was one religion, not all these other ones, but if there was just one religion, and they were supposed to be something that we were supposed to know. And unlike everybody else, this supposed Jesus Christ God mess wants to hide. Is a coward. Wants to hide everything. Well, ain't it kind of obvious that this person doesn't exist like he wants you to believe? He's not as good as he says he is. Because it's weird how you could go out and buy any other book, any other celebrity, any other person. You could go out there and find everything else about them. Now, somebody might say, well, how would we know everything? How would we have gotten? Well, for starters, I mean, like my dad, he was going to actually try to get a book published. He didn't get it finished, but it takes a lot to get a book published. I doubt in those times there was anybody with a book. I'm just talking about in these medieval times. I don't know that there was a bookstore around or anybody. That's the thing. You've got people who could now say, yeah, if I want to publish a book, I can get it published, but it's going to take. My dad didn't realize, but you got to write it out, the physical form, then you've got to get it typed out, and then you've got to try to find somebody who will publish it. And then I think you've got to pay them, I guess, so much money or whatever it is if somebody will back it. Because then you've got to hope it sells good and then the store wants to pick it up. But, that's my issue with churches and things like that. Like I said, I'm not here to beat everybody up, but there are just things that, and I could go here for another while, but on that, but it just upsets me because we're more worried about that than we are our own physical well-being. We're worried about trying to do things for somebody who's not here. And yeah, this whole, virus stuff, and, we just need to take it as it comes. We're responsible for this stuff happening, and not me personally or my wife, but the people out there in the world, if they would have stayed put, stayed where they were at, and not traveling all over the world and going to China and Japan and all these other places, Canada, if they stayed their little butts over there where they were at, Americans stay on the American soil and everybody else stay where they're put, we wouldn't have had this damn virus shit over here. But because we want to go over there, and a lot of us wants to travel, and a lot of us wants to eat that nasty food, not me or my wife, but I stick to what I know I can eat, and what I know I ain't worried about. But I know what I can eat and what I can stomach to eat. I have a sensitive stomach as it is, but that's why a lot of these places are now, we're seeing the repercussions. We're going back 100-something years when the last big thing happened, Spanish flu. I wasn't here then. None of us were practically, hardly. But there was, a time when there was supposedly all this stuff going on then, and it took decades to get over that hump. And that happened in 1918, I believe they said. So you can just imagine the technology then wasn't nowhere near as good as it is now. But now, we've had this, COVID-19 mess. Well, and we've gotten shots and all this other stuff out there. And I'm not taking it because I know I don't have it, first of all. And it's useless to me. There's, where we're at, we stay mostly inside anyway. So, we just, like I said, we're not out in the big areas and big places where we'd be around hundreds and hundreds of people. So anyway, we're just stay to ourselves mostly. That's why I said somebody local out here that didn't bother with worrying about stuff like that. I said, well, if a feller gets something, if a feller gets something and it kills him, kills him. They ain't nothing shot. The shots, I don't try to see. Now they're trying to say that they've had decades and decades of this stuff piled on, and that's changing some people's minds. They ain't had decades of this. This has only been going on for two years or so. 2 years too long, actually, because a lot of these people wouldn't just stay away. Stay to their own homes. President Trump fuck out there, misleading people on purpose, trying to tell them that, everything's going to be okay. And he listens supposedly some whack job in the White House. Well, that's why it's good to get 4 or 5 people's opinion. It's why the news ain't always correct. You can't believe everything they tell you and everything you hear on that thing. I would even dispute how many people's died because of this. It could be severely inflated. But anyway, I was just going to come on here for a little while. But I'm going to put this out on the Twitter, share it out there so everybody knows we made a video today. But anyway, we'll see you later. Bye.